actually in very nice cosmetic condition. There's hardly any signs of use. This part is quite often very damaged because this was rubberized. There was a little bit of a rubber cover, but it just sort of like scraped off. I can see some scratches here. So previous owner basically took it away, which is good because it's not sticky. It doesn't look that awful. Apart from that, it looks actually quite nice. This is where the battery goes. The handle here is quite nice. The original strap is good. There are some scratches, but not too bad. The lens is clean. Something doesn't work. Like I would dare to say, all of these cameras, and they all suffer from the same problem, which is leaking electrolytic capacitors. First, let's remove the battery. There is like battery that is memory, so we're going to remove it. And then we need to open it. There are basically two halves, so you remove it by separating two halves and then the front. So there are three plastic bits. They need to come apart. In order to do this, all the screws have these arrows, so we need to remove all the arrows screws, and then there are two screws without arrows. They are sort of like attached to the lens. One is here and one is underneath. Okay, let's do it, but first we start actually with removing the cover for the cassette compartment, because the screws are slightly different. So let's gently remove that. Actually, do it. Yeah. So these two screws are slightly different. Let's put them here, and then we should be able to remove. Here it is, a battery compartment. I also remove this strap. Good. And then we also disconnect this strap. This is the lens cover. The strap goes here. Good. And here we have the first screw to be removed. And then there's one here underneath. We can gently remove all of them. Here, this is just this bottom case that is attached to one of the sides, so we don't need to remove that. As you can see, there is no arrows pointing anywhere here. There is one. We need to remove this blanking bit. Then there is one screw here in the front, holding the front piece. Then there is one here. Okay. You should be able to separate some of that stuff already. here it go. So that's the front. This is the microphone assembly here, the stereo microphone and remote control. So you need to disconnect these two wires. This is connectors, this is for remote control, and this is for the microphone. So that's microphone assembly. We'll come back to it a little bit later. And then there is one more screw here. We should be able to separate now this side. Here it is. Okay. So that's the right hand side, and then is this just this left hand side. Plastic bead needs to be taken apart. Needs to be sort of like unscrewed. So there are two more screws here behind the visor. All the screws are exactly the same size, so it doesn't matter. And there is one here. Then these two that secure the lens. These two screws that secure the lens are slightly different, so they are a little bit longer. So it's worth to keep them separately. And there's one here underneath. Here we go, it's also a little bit longer. Then there is one here on top. And we should not miss. And there is one more long screw that is securing it from inside. And that's easy to miss. But we should remember about that. Here we go. And that's another long screw. So there are 3 long screws here. And I think that's all. I hope I haven't forgotten about any of them. And they're probably all undone. Great. Okay. So we can try and remove this assembly now. We'll find out quite soon if all of them, also this blanking bit here, need to go, because otherwise they don't need to really go, because this will be together with this plastic. But let's find out. We can remove here the power supply, and let's see if I can separate them. Yeah, that goes off. Slides off, and this should also be sliding off. It is going, it is going. It is going to jump off the. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, that is nicely separated. Okay, and then we have to disconnect some wires. So there is one here. This is from the sound. Good, that goes off. Then there is one that connects here, the I/O board. Here we go. And then there is one more underneath here that needs to be removed. And that's the whole assembly coming off. Okay, and that's more or less right now how we have access to the rest of the camera. we start our disassembly from removing the power board. So that's where we have all the power attached. It's being held in place with just one screw. So we undo this screw here. We need to remove this switch because this is going to be in our way. Here we go. And then these connectors, these are main connectors, power connectors, and are attached to it, and just I need to unplug it. Here we go. And then this is the power. This is power board. There is several capacitors inside, but most of the time this board is actually alright. Despite having capacitors in there, because again they're through the hole and they're quite good quality capacitors there, so I don't think we need to worry too much about it. But maybe it's a good idea to replace them as we have opened the camera and we are working on it. Okay, and now we have to remove this board together with the lens. I think this screw needs to be removed here. Here we go. And there is a little support that is at the same time holding the board in place. And there is another screw here. Okay, and that should free this board up. Hopefully allowing us to remove it. Let's have a look whether there is anything else that is holding this in place. I don't think so. Yeah, that can be removed. And here are three connectors that we need to lift. Gently. We don't want this to be, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to support this. Two. And number three. And here we go. And that's the whole board. That's a video board. That's basically where all the video processing is happening when you record the image. So that's the video board, and we're going to replace this board in a moment. And then what we need to do, we need to remove this board. This is sort of like this is the main board. This is where the processor sits. Okay, and now in order to do that, there are some connectors here to the motors, so we need to remove this frame, this metal frame, to go underneath that. Okay, so there is one screw here that we need to undo. Okay. Then there is a similar screw over there. It's quite loose, interesting enough. Not always the screws are very well done. Very tight. And then there is one screw here at the bottom. Here. And that should allow us to remove this whole board. Oh, by the way, we also need to remove the I/O port here. Okay, and that should allow us Let's remove this bit. Because all the sockets we're going to leave in place, so we don't need them. And that should allow us to lift the whole board. I think this also is beneath. Here. Here we go, this is sliding off, so this needs to be removed. We remove also this screw. Okay. And here we go. And now we should be able to lift all of that metal bit off. Here it goes. Here it goes. Gently, gently. Okay, then the soundboard is this soundboard actually we can disconnect anyway. Just like lift it up, and then this is removed, and that's the, I call it soundboard, but this is really I/O board. And now all is left is connectors. So we need to disconnect all the connectors here at the bottom. That's number one. Here we go. Then there is a second connector that needs to be removed here, and that is, we need to do it gently, like everything. Basically, don't pull it at the top, because this is going to rip. So you need to lever it. Use a screwdriver to get this out. And then we have this power supply to the motor, and this too, you just this is important bit. So remove it. It's coming out. It's coming out. It is coming out of its socket. Here we go. And then there is one more that actually sits here, and again needs to be very gently removed from its socket. Again coming out. Good. And that's the whole bolt released from this side. Then there is one connector here. This is for all the buttons here on the top. And then there is one more connector that we will need to disconnect when the the whole main board is lifting up. So there are just two screws here that you need to undo. That's screw number one, and that's screw number two on the opposite side. Here we go. And now we can lift the main board. It all should be nicely free. We should be able to lift it up. And as I said, there's just one connector at the top that needs to be disconnected. Here we go. And and there is one more connector I forgot. Here, good. And that's the main board. Basically, you can see there is only one capacitor here. It's almost certain that it is either dry or not, or leaked. Actually, it doesn't look like it has leaked, but I can assure you that that's what's happening. Okay, and now in reverse order we need to put everything together. I have boards already sort of like ready here from a different camera, so I prepared everything back. So we're just going to put all of them back. So in reverse order. So this is a new capacitor here, obviously. So this connector goes back here. It's sitting well in its place. This connector goes back. Here we go. And then the whole thing, we put the whole thing in its place. Now, important bit is not to put it too far in. There are supports for the boards, so it should be on the supports, not sort of like at the very bottom. Okay, now we need to remove all of that. I think that looks good. Okay, and both screws go back. Now remember to also replace this shield. This screen here needs to be replaced, but before that we need to get this connector back into its position. So here it needs to go nicely in, all the way in. Here we go. That looks good to me. Get clicked, and then this needs to go just above the hole here. Okay, let's check once again if this is sort of like nicely aligned here. If there is any problems. No, I can't see any problems here, and this is again against the support on this side. Good. This goes in. Wait a moment, this is not quite. Yep. Not too tight, not too loose, just right. Let's see whether this is, we are happy about that. It's not all covered, good. I'm happy with it. Right. And now this little fellow goes in. Fiddly. And a bit fiddly to get them in. Here it is. Good. So that's in. Then the next one, as I said, this is the main video head. Okay, all the way in. Then this bit. That needs to go to the front. Then it's this connector. Yeah, click nicely. And the final bit in here. close this clamp. Is it closed? It is closed. Good, brilliant. Okay, so that's all sorted. That's all in. Now we can put this bit back. And this is a little bit fiddly, but we should be able to get this into position. It's easier to put it on this side. This side, the other side is a little bit more difficult. But I think it is. It's in position now, I think. Yeah. Yes, definitely. Okay, let's put some screws to hold it in place. So I start with this side, because as I said, it's a little bit more fiddly. That's screw number one. And there is one here on top. Yep. This is good. And then the one goes on the other side. Again, that needs to be nicely aligned. There shouldn't be any tension. It should all fit in nicely without any tension whatsoever. If there is any tension, then it means this is not right. Here we go, we can put this secure this bit that is preventing the lid from being open from too far. Good, so that's done, and there is one screw underneath here. Brilliant. Okay, so all these wires, everything is back. We need to put another screw here for the connector. One piece goes here into the slot and the other is attached. Good. That is done. Okay. And then let's check that all the connectors are nicely done. Yes, 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 yes. Yep. That looks reasonably good. Everything here. Just one more check. Everything is okay. Good. Okay. And this is our new board. And we can put the lens now, lens assembly on this board. So there are locating pins, and they are actually now in place. So we can replace the screws. These 3 screws that hold the whole assembly in place. That's screw number 1. This is screw number 2. Oops. careful. And this is screw number 3. Right. So that's all in position then. This needs to go into place. There's a connector here on the board. Now we need to find to make sure that it goes nicely down. Yes. And it's properly engaged. Brilliant. And then all we need to do is to connect again the ground with some solder that goes away. We don't need that. A little bit of a flux. And it's done. Good. Alright. So this can go back into its final position. This is folding underneath. But we start first with these 3 connectors that we had to disassemble in the first place. So this goes there, this goes there, and this is the final 3rd one that goes over there. Yep, now this is sort of folding underneath, and now the I/O port with again replace capacitors. This is probably the most laborious job, to replace all these electrolytics with the new ones. So that's all done. And again we need to click this into its place. So this is properly in. Now we can put this screw here. Okay. This goes in there. Again, it's easier to do it than before. Actually, it is lowered. Yeah. All the way in, all the way in. Okay, so this is done. Okay, so this is to slide into position. Here we go, and we can connect the screw. Good, that is nice. Okay, and then the power board is the final bit that needs to go inside. So you can actually connect those first. Here we go. They're connected. And then we can get this into position. And the screw. Good. Brilliant. And now finally this is attached back where it belongs. So I think we are ready to put the casing back and test the whole thing. So we start obviously with the left side. And we reconnect all the wires. Gently go into position. I need to check everything is sliding exactly where it should be going. Without too much pressure. Here we go. Good. Now it's fine. Okay, again. Let's try one more time. Whether this will engage. Yeah, almost there. Almost there. Okay, let's find out whether the holes align with the casing. I think so. I think it looks good. Okay, so let's put this screw in here. And let's put this screw in here. And then we put the screw inside. In here. Because otherwise it's easy to forget. Okay, and now we need to attach all the connectors. So this one goes into the main board, and then we have these two. these two will attach to the front bit. But before that, I can fix the lens. Underneath. And we also fix this screw here. Okay, let's check. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. And that looks also alright. Okay. Now, before I put the front, I need to replace this capacitor because I haven't done it. So after this is done, then I'll put the camera back again. Capacitor has been replaced, so we can put this together. The front can go where it should go. So this needs to be attached in here. Yep. And this needs to go in there. Yes, that's all in a nice position. Let's check if there's anything else that we forgot. I don't think so. I think all is well. We can get this thing sorted. Okay. And then this front bit here engages with this, so it's supposed to do both of them together. Now it's nicely flushed here with the surface. So once again, this all slides in here, here, here. Good. And then this goes on the top. Yes, now it's okay. screw and needs to go here. Excellent. Battery cover. Battery cover. Slides into position. Of course, after opening the top. Here it is. And the final two screws, and the camera is done. Good. Repair is finished. Done. Now we're going to test it.